Hello! Welcome back to New Marx Junction. This is a second very special episode coming from my Cities Skylines builds back here in one of my favorite cities where I've just started incorporating plazas and promenades. So I'm back here today in New Marx Junction because I want to build on what I did in my last stream, which I just uploaded to YouTube. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. So looking at some of the pedestrianization I've done here in this old downtown. See, this area is called Smith Square. I converted one of the roads here to a pedestrian road and added a plaza around a merry-go-round that's been a fixture of this area for a long time. Meanwhile, I turned this bike path into full pedestrian elevated walkway through here. So that cooks up right here, which is really nice, as well as obviously a ton of tram service in this area. So there's a lot of ways to get to and from around here. And then we can head right along 3rd Avenue here, past City Hall and the train station, to find our other brand new plaza, where I just plopped down 3 of the basic new assets they've added in here around a pedestrianized road here. And you can see my high-density European residential zoning is coming in right there on the pedestrian road, which is very cool. So that's all very exciting. Today, I want to build on some of this, look for other opportunities to pedestrianize through downtown here, and maybe think about looking over here on the other side of the highway at the more modern part of downtown. This highway actually came with this map, but I've never had a more effective simulation of how you can cut your city in half with a highway. So I've built around it here, and part of that was developing this major expo center, tourism area over here. You can see this is a 4-star park, and that's great. But it is a lot of repeated, I mean, there's so many gazebos, there's so many park cafes, there's so many of the info booths just over and over again in around these giant unique buildings to try and make something, you know, make this into something with high land value. And let's take a look at how that's worked out. So it's not bad, but it's certainly not what we had over in these areas we've already pedestrianized. So when we get into that in a little bit, I think it'll be a chance to see if the pedestrianization, if the big pedestrian roads and some of these new plaza assets can really level up what is already a high-level park. And it'll be interesting to see how that works out. So let's start back here in Smith Square, where I want to sort of expand the pedestrian situation. So first I just want to come and check my transit lines. So we do have a bus coming across the bridge there, right by the theater. So that's Woodland Street. So let's check for the downtown Woodland line. There it is. So this actually does decent traffic, people trying to get across the bridge. Let's see. We'll just follow this full bus that just picked up at this overloaded stop here, because I'd like to pedestrianize that road right there, but if I need to leave it as a bus pedestrian road, we have that option. So let me just check what this intersection says. So I guess this should be a stoplight at this point. So we'll go over the bridge there, hit a hot dog truck, and then let's just see how many people get off this bus right here. Okay, so like 2/3 of them, because there were what, 3 people waiting there? 2/3 of them are literally just taking that across the bridge, which is very funny. That's what good transit coverage does for you, I guess. And then where's this other stop that's backed up? It's coming back the other way. We'll go ahead and up the bus count, and then let's look at how we can get this involved here. So yes, I think we'll have to turn this into pedestrian bus only, and maybe I'll even do the bridge the same way, because traffic's not too bad, and there are other bridges cars can take. Let's just see how this looks. Okay, so now that bridge is only for peds and buses. And it looks kind of cute, honestly, I don't hate it. Okay. And then we can leave that for cars, because that makes sense. I think over here I'd like to do some pedestrianized. Yeah, right by the theater there. What else might be worth pedestrianizing here? I think this street along the high school makes a lot of sense. I think this might be a good spot for some cobblestones. So that really feels like it's more part of the campus now, I think, which I really like. And that still makes sense to have a road up to the parking lot and those buildings back there, a little bit of extra parking. Oh, except, what's the problem now? Cannot be reached. So this can't be on a pedestrian road. That's what you're telling me right now. That's wild. Okay. Well, I guess it works halfway. So that's interesting. So stuff's got to be able to go into there from the basic road vehicles, and then the special vehicles that have access to the pedestrian roads can bring it back out, I guess, is what I am meant to understand. Oh, there's all kinds of new roads here, too. Look at that. Wide sidewalks. Yeah, I like that. Oh, this is huge. Two-lane one-way road with wide sidewalks. Three-lane one-way road, that's huge. Let's just see, how big is this? Wow, and it's the normal width. That's wild. A lot of new traffic options introduced with this as well. That's really interesting to see. I don't want that instead. And I can come through here and say... Okay. Let's see. What else down here could be converted into some pedestrian areas? So there's a lot of tram lines. They're going to and from the other parts of the city. What about the high school down here? I think this looks like another good spot. Question is, I'm gonna need to put in a new one of those buildings again, right? Let's just see. I remember we said the parks budget. Okay, the parks budget has gone up about $3,000 or $4,000, so something to be mindful of. Because can I just put these in down here? I don't think it'll let me, right? I mean, I can do that. And then what does this say? Not a pedestrian area. What if I just flip these around? So I can kind of fake it here and still use that pedestrian road. It doesn't make a ton of sense. It would make more sense to have those facing onto that cobblestone path right there, but okay, that'll work. And some new trees in here. And some nice big oaks. Oh yeah. Thought it would be nice to get some more back in here, but I have this tram turnaround, right? And that's going across there. So it's kind of an important connection. Let's make this a tram road. I want to change the direction. And I want to upgrade this. And I want to change the direction. And then let's just get rid of that. And in fact, what if I just make this a one-way tram track, actually? Ah, yes, that tennis court doesn't like that. Okay. But, now what can I do here? So, let's just see. This will be still part of the same pedestrian zone here. What I'm going to do is bring in the bluestone path again. The rest of this, that can go back to what it was. I think that should stay a normal road. Hilltop Avenue here now, I think, can also be pedestrianized, right? Yeah. I think it's just going to be best to turn this back into a road, honestly. Oop, autosave. Okay. There we go. So you can do a little loop up in there if you need to drop somebody off or whatever, that's fine. I'm not sure that this needs to be here now. Okay, I think that looks kind of cute now. Oh, that's a big... No, we don't need... Okay, something I'm going to do real quick here, because I have them enabled, is we're just going to go through and make sure we've just got the vehicles we want for all of our city service buildings. Because I don't need mobile command centers, I don't need police supercars. You just don't need them. They look ridiculous, and they make this game feel like real life in the worst kind of ways. In that it makes it seem like the city is spending all of its money on policing, which is what happens in a lot of cities. Totally. That doesn't mean it's right. Let's just take a look at our fire stations. So I honestly really like, I actually really like the large fire engines. I think they do look more realistic. Even though they sort of have similar problems with some of the buses and even the mobile command centers or whatever. I think the normal fire truck just looks sort of goofy. Let's check healthcare. I mean, obviously the hospital is going to be the big one. I want to use a large ambulance as well, I think, just for the better sense of realism. There's another big hospital. That is a medical center. Those are gyms and a pool. Sauna. Here's another medical center. I think the last one I want to check is just death care. Because I like to set it so I have coroner's vans coming out of crematoriums and hearses for... I guess I'll go with the luxury hearse. I don't normally use it, but why not? Okay, I think that's all of them. And we're starting to see some repercussions here as all of this new commercial development is predictably giving us some noise problems for the residential folks here. So there's a couple of potential ways to solve this. Oh, that's the last game. I think the first one I'm going to try is just see if I can get some trees back here. Here we go. See if that holds. Now, what am I going to do about all this? think the first thing to do times like these is throw down a save and have a think. So some of these roads we're going to want to keep coming through here, really, because they are essential connections across downtown. Well, where else could I pedestrianize? I guess these apartment buildings down through here are already heavily pedestrianized, to be honest. Yeah, see, this is the problem again, is like all these places that would make sense as sort of pedestrian squares are already like level 2 parks. And I'm a little hesitant to see what'll happen if I mess with that, because I don't want my downtown to completely collapse economically. So maybe there's a more low risk place I can mess with it. Okay. So here's Hickory Park. People love this place, but you know, it's a bunch of college students here. There's some great views off the hill right here. I think a developer would want to come in and really turn this into something. So right now it's sort of low green into blue-green land value. We can take a look at Mill Hill and see it's averaging 50 bucks. It's a little bit over the 41 average, but it's definitely concentrated up towards this area up here, right? So let's go ahead and run a little experiment here with Hickory Park and see if we can't find out if pedestrian areas are a really good way to boost land value or not. So we have one tram line coming through here, the Mill Hill line, and it looks quite popular. So we can go ahead and bump that up. So that's going to take folks from all the ways down in Millersburg there up onto Mill Hill. Going to come here onto this major road, drop you right at the train station if you'd like, come up into the sliver and just turn around. The big traffic draw is from Millersburg towards up here, so that makes sense, I guess. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna say that the city's held on to some land here, but now it's ready to sell. And that's gonna mean a couple of things. Go ahead and put that right there. We'll bring some of these elements back into this, I think, eventually. For now, I just want a fresh, clean slate here. We want to come in, we're going to say this is all now going to be our new pedestrian area. Honestly, I think we can go ahead and bring this over here too. So we're going to call this Hickory Park still. The name will stay the same. They'll keep that for continuity. But it's not going to be the Hickory Park that was there when your parents were in school, that's for sure. So don't expect that. Things change. So I'm going to stick with this one for now. Where am I going to slow this down in here? This is always the headache. So what if we just take all this, huh? But I think it's for the best because now we have a lot more room to play with like this thing, right? It's just such a strange shape for a building you have to use. Anyway, let's go ahead and start bringing okay. Go ahead and turn all that into pedestrian. Oh, there's stuff leveling up already. That's very interesting. So I think the real, the real reason you'd even have this set up is for these views right here. Let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Okay. Let's look for something nice to put in here, huh? So what it says to me is should come in with this, like right. There we go. Now that feels a little more like a tram stop. And of course we want to bring these in. Bring this in. And we can bring all of these in. Not you. Honestly, I think we need to go with a different fence. Yeah, see, this is why you want this here. Look at this. So yeah, maybe the university owns some of these, with some of this property actually. Maybe that's who the city sold it to. There's a lot of different ways something like this could go. That's not a good place for that, is it? Okay, that'll work like that, and we'll just throw some trees in here to cover this up, I guess. Okay. Same building. And leave those a store size so it can pop up. And yep, we wanted that bookstore right there. Classic. Okay. Let's see what else we could bring in right here. What about just a little more commercial? Leave a little room for a path right there, maybe? There we go. See, I don't want something with a parking lot out in front of it, though, obviously, guys. Okay, let's just check in on our land values. Oh man, that is bright green. Okay. Wow, so that seems a lot more effective than a park. And yeah, the average land value for the neighborhood is climbing considerably. see, what else can we do here? So I'm not crazy about the white stone. Well, we have the white stone plaza, so why don't we come through with some cobblestones. So I think we'd still want some sports fields back here. Make these apartments feel a little nicer. Purple doors. And then what if we put in one of these fancy situations over here too? Interesting, doesn't like that. Actually, don't want to destroy it, I just want to move it. Right. So long. How long is it? 6 deep? 7? It's 8 deep. That's nuts. Okay. Yeah, and that bright green is spreading quite rapidly there. You can see some other stuff leveling up, which is actually not great. What is this? Wow. Save some of these before everything gets out of hand here. Okay, so we've definitely learned that compared to what we were able to do, what I was able to do with a park here, this is a huge improvement for sure. Like, in terms of land value, in terms of leveling up, it's making the rest of this area do, and we added a ton of residences down here. So here's 18 people, 14 people. We're gonna go ahead and store size that. You know, this is a lot of good high density real estate. And it's gonna be really, really desirable for the student population. I mean, and honestly, like, you could even see if you had one of the nice jobs in Millersburg, maybe you want to come. You know, it's hard to say. This could get really in demand pricing, because look at that view of Robin Park. Isn't that gorgeous? You can watch the trams come and go. I mean, the highway is not super scenic, but there's the Statue of Industry up on the hill there. And it's a pretty nice view of Millersburg, I mean, all things considered. And I think it looks okay. I don't know. I think this was a really helpful exercise in sort of wrapping my head around more of what's possible with this. because being able to build whole sort of little neighborhoods of pedestrian, and now knowing that it's going to outperform parks on land value and upgrades and sort of just, I mean, obviously the functionality is so different. Oh, hold on a sec. Where'd you come from? Well, anyway, I think there's one more spot I want to try to pedestrianize today while I'm here, and that is right here. So let's go ahead and, so even though this is technically the Blimp Bowl region and it's part of campus, I want to make this a separate little thing right here. Honestly, it could even come over and include this. So I can't, it's the science campus still has to, sorry, is that what that's called? I mean, Kent College still has to be, obviously the stadium still has to be in Kent College. That's what's really important here, so that that stays assigned to the university. The rest of this stuff is where there's a lot more room for some exploration. Especially, I don't really know that we need a bus stop here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what our buses are doing right here. Oh my god, there's a lot of them. Okay. Are they all like stadium lines? Yeah. Some of them are quite popular. This one not so much. Where does this go? So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that one. So let's look at Stadium 2. This one is quite busy. And it's coming from out there. So that makes sense. That's that sort of same traffic flow we saw that was really eager to come up on the tram. That said, 20 buses might be excessive. Again, a little excessive here. Where does this go? This comes from Emerson Heights. Okay. Just take that down to 6. That could be 2. Where does that even go? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that one too. It's just a little bit excessive with some of the bus work in here. Again, they're gonna be mad for now. Once we get this pedestrian zone in here, I think they're gonna change their tune. And that literally just goes right there, so we're gonna get rid of that. Okay. So that leaves us with just Stadium 2 and 3, which are fairly big people movers, so it makes sense that we'd want to keep them. That is going to be taking pressure off of the tram for now, too, at least. And then Stadium 3. Yeah, so that one's going to go all the way up through there and whatnot. That said, I don't think we need a bus depot right here, nor do I think we really need a full-on bus stop like this, especially now for only 2 lines. So let me just grab this, and then this one, Okay. There we go. Then I need to come through here and find a place to put my favorite new building. This humongous thing. I think we'll just try to stash it back here. There we go. That's a good start. Honestly, these aren't doing much right here. I'm going to pull all that out. Do I have something swank I could use in here? Big. And it doesn't seem like there's anything that's gonna work there. It's okay. Ugh, it's just a little too big. Okay, so... Oh, wow. What if I do something fancy like... Ugh, it's just a little too big, huh? Okay. Well. Interesting. So that's not in a campus area anymore. Bit of a bummer. It's okay. Get a little fancy out here. Okay. There we go. Bring in some nice trees. This is interesting. There's some rough terrain back here that I did not anticipate. Okay. I really want to make this entrance to campus here feel, you know, sort of iconic, instantly recognizable. Um, you know, use whatever word you'd like. I want you to know you're at the Blimp Bowl when you're here. And I think that looks pretty sick, actually. Okay. Go ahead and see what it's done for our... Oh my word. That's gorgeous. Okay, so then we still do have buses on that route, on that road right there. Let's see, honestly, that bus doesn't need to go over to here. Uh-huh. Okay. So then I'll go ahead and pedestrianize all this back here as well. I'm going to go ahead and break through with the trees. Pedestrian area. Nice and easy. So that's now much more of like a little bar setup, I think, than it was before. What's the deal? These are only 2 deep here, huh? Maybe we should just let these go, because I hate these little flex gems or whatever. Actually, this is a good chance. Let me just pause this before. Okay, extend that up to there. What happens if we try to go like... Ugh, does some strange things with the terrain for sure. Let's go ahead and mess with our snapping options. Okay, so we'll just try this. Again, a little jank. Yeah, it just doesn't work well on the hill there. That's okay. I think this was a really nice shift to some area right here. So we got the blimp bowl going. Let's go ahead and check the land value real quick. Through the roof, Mill Hill through the roof. I mean, this expansion just seems totally broken. In terms, especially relative to Parks I mean, even like this isn't even this is just a vacant lot right now, but it's super high value even though these streets aren't pedestrianized yet. So I think we're going to learn a lot more about what this expansion has to offer in the days to come. For now, thanks for tuning in. It's a pleasure to have you here, and we'll catch you next time.